Is Cliven Bundy a domestic terrorist or American patriot? Cliven Bundy is being treated by the federal government bureaucracy as a domestic terrorist. The media characterizes him as a gun-toting militia wacko to sensationalize the government's version of the events surrounding his stand, rather than dig out and report the truth of the events or their real meaning to the American citizens' constitutional rights. But who really is Cliven Bundy? Cliven Bundy is an American, a rancher, a family man, a patriot. So why has he been in federal lockup along with 18 others, charged and held since February 2016 without due process of law for simply and peacefully standing up for his family's, and all the Western states and their ranchers and farmers' constitutional property rights? Here, for the first time, Cliven Bundy documents his side of what should have proceeded as a peaceful civil matter. But instead, it resulted in a unilateral bureaucracy government action involving over 200 federal agents, suited in full tactical gear and armed for civil war, to seize, sell, and destroy his cattle in an extreme overreach of their judicial mandate. The resulting April 2014 standoff brought thousands of Americans from across the country to the Bundy Ranch, attracted by the rally cry, "No! Hell no!" The Bundy name is both celebrated by ranchers and farmers in the West and has become a lightning rod for those ensconced in Washington, who work to arrest the coming wildfire of rebellion across the West's vast agricultural sector that feeds the world. In this book, Cliven explains his rights to graze his cattle on the open range of Nevada and how those rights extend clear back to the 1870s when his ranch was still part of the Arizona Territory. He chronicles how for over 160 years, his family has developed all of the improvements on the range under contention. His ownership of its water rights were originally obtained and remain to date, and how his family has managed the land and its ecology for the benefit of future generations. And he details the events that caught the world's attention and ignited the ire of the U.S. Federal Departments of Justice and the Interior, whose response led to the famous standoff. He also gives his personal account of the life now lost and the continuing costs that the Bundy 19 endure as they sacrifice their livelihoods and freedom, and as they shout, "We the people declare no and enough, not in the country we love." The book describes the intense hardships the Bundy 19 experience from the oppression and dangers in the government-controlled private contract prison, where the Bundy 19 are held without bail month after month in order to break their spirit, manipulate each of them to accept a deal to plead guilty to fabricated crimes they did not commit. It's a burden, all of which weighs heavily upon Cliven Bundy's heart, as he shares in this book his inner fears and personal hopes for the future. Cliven and his courageous family need your help getting this amazing story out to the American public. It is now time to change the narrative to include Cliven's side of these historic events and debunk the speculations and false accusation designed only to sensationalize and draw attention away from the government's erosion of your constitutional rights. This cannot occur if we treat this as a well-meaning hobby. To meaningfully change the existing, speculative, and largely false narrative about what Cliven's fight is all about, we must begin by putting this book in the hands of every American who cares about their constitutional rights. Here is your opportunity to join the fight, ultimately benefiting you and me, for it really is a fight for the American way of life. Please help us to get Cliven's story out and to strive to regain our constitutional rights.